the notion that a lot of people just need a little nudge to get from sort of sitting on the couch and talking about doing good things that would be helpful to others to the status of actually doing those things is a very important insight. It sounds very simple, but it's actually fairly profound.
I'd love to just do a fun little exercise of word association with you.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
I'll just say a word, and then whatever comes to mind, feel free to say it out loud. Not a test. So the first word is community.
I guess belonging.
It's a great word. What about ideas?
Innovation.
Impact.
Meaning.
And lastly, New York.
Well, that's complicated, having just abandoned ship. Vibrant but hectic.
Yep. I think anybody who knows New York would agree with that. Well, thanks for that. So, yeah, what is your connection to idealist.org?
Well, my wife recently got to know Ami. I got interested in this organization as a result of that and watched a couple of videos, talks that Ami had given. Went to the website itself and began just poking around. And as it happens, since we moved to New Jersey, I had, with some frustration, been looking for a new opportunity to do volunteer work with animals, which is something I've done over many years. I'm a lifelong dog owner and have always been interested in animal rescue. And surprisingly had difficulty finding the right kind of situation in New Jersey, even though I had done it for many years in New York. And right there on your website was a solicitation for a volunteer to work with a youth task force at a very large rescue operation in a town called Madison. It's an organization called St. Hubert's, and it's I discovered a terrific place. The place is terrific. It's really one of the best such places I've encountered over many years.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you were able to find something.
Yep.
I'm also curious, what the experience is like to volunteer your time to help dogs, but then also, or dogs and animals in general, but then also help young, people learn. So, how do you balance those things?
I had actually thought for many, many years that combining working with teenagers with working with dogs would be a very good idea, that learning about the ethos of volunteerism and compassion toward these animals that are in quite dire straits would be a great experience for young people. And here, the good people at St. Hubert's that were way, way ahead of me, they've had this program set up for a while. So to be able to step in and do that work with the organization already there, and they have a certain amount of resources, is just a great opportunity. So I think it's a great idea, and I'm eager to just be a part of it. It's not my, as I say, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but here are people who are actually doing it, which is what you need.
Yeah. Oh, that's really wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. So I guess being here today, I'm curious, if you got a sense of what we're doing here, and is there anything that excites you about our vision?
Yeah, I think the notion that a lot of people just need a little nudge to get from sort of sitting on the couch and talking about doing good things that would be helpful to others to the status of actually doing those things is a very important insight. It sounds very simple, but it's actually fairly profound. That at various times in my life has been the case with me. I'm a very busy person, but I do have a certain amount of bandwidth reserved for doing volunteer work. It's just often a question of figuring out how to get it done. So, if I can figure out a way to help with this organization as well, I like the idea, so I'm open to it.
I'm curious, what were some of the barriers that, that maybe you experienced or you see in general, and how do you think we can overcome them?
Yeah, they're very standard barriers. It's sometimes it's not easy to find the right other group of people who you can fit in with. I mean, just to be specific, in my case, I mean, I had gone to the public animal rescue authorities in my town and in the immediately surrounding towns, and just hadn't gotten traction. I mean, filled out all the applications, showed up in person. I know from past experience, it's often difficult to sort of get, past the starting gate is a big obstacle. The people who you're dealing with are themselves often volunteers, may not be absolutely the most adroit people at figuring out how to get other people inside. That's just the way it is in the world. So having this place where there's lots of people putting lots of opportunities in one place, and you can scroll through and look for them, is a very good idea. So people need help. They need facilitation. They need advice. And my understanding is this organization, at least in part, that's what it's set up to do, and that's terrific. And so I'm just a good, very modest little example of how it can work, fairly readily once you just get underway.
Yeah. Last question. Do you have any ideas for a future Idealist Day? And how can we help?
Well, I have an idea related to this, my little new gig.
Yeah.
I think the idea of combining teenagers with the care of animals that need homes is something that could have one more dimension, which is more of a sort of cross-sociological dimension to it. The kids who I've encountered out in Jersey are, they're kids from the towns right around there. So it would be great if they could meet kids from other places. But that's a larger idea that I think could be, really salutary. Bring kids together so that they'd not just be learning about the dog thing, but they'd be meeting kids who are different from them in various ways. So maybe that's something for the longer term agenda.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea, and maybe we can help with that in some ways. But thanks for sharing your story,
Sure.
Paul.